Hope you got your powers back. The floor is yours.
Man, I hope so too, because this team almost looked like they lost their powers last night on Thursday. Man, when I tell you, Amazon Prime definitely watched Refuse to Lose. Because remember last year, we was like, bro, all these games on Thursday are terrible.
Hmm.
Terrible. Ever since then, these rivalry games have been turned up. We got Jameis Winston in the snow, and then we got the Detroit Lions going out to a fast run, and then the Packers almost making a comeback. But some people, not some people. I think everybody in Philadelphia, a few people on ESPN, more so AJ from Unfazed, has been saying it. The Eagles may be the best team in the NFC or the NFL for some people. I still think it's the Detroit Lions. But after last night, we got to ask, will the Lions finish as the first seed? The Motor City Maulers, they found a way to beat, like I said, to beat the Packers 34-31. 10 straight wins. Can they keep it up? Joe, who finished with the number one seed?
They got a big game next week. They got to play Buffalo. But I'm going to say the Detroit Lions will finish the season off as number one seed. They will. Because, I have no reason to believe otherwise other than the fact that you got Philly on their tails and Philly has a quote-unquote easier schedule down the stretch. But, it's an NFL. You can call it easy schedule, but anything can happen, all right? But Detroit has won in every way you could think of. They've won in blowout fashion. They won in blowout fashion without the offense doing too much. They won off of just strictly turnovers. They won when they turn the ball over 5 times in the game and still won. They win in shootouts. They win in low scoring games. And they just win. So I know the upcoming schedule, they got Buffalo, which is a tough team, obviously, another team that's fighting for a number one seed in their conference. And they play at home, which is a plus. They also got Chicago, who almost beat them, right, in Detroit on Thanksgiving, and they will be playing in Chicago. Chicago is rejuvenated, new head coach. They already they've been playing better with the new offensive coordinator. And then they got Dave's 49ers, which is a sneaky game right there for them. Playing in San Francisco, depending on what 49ers are sitting at, playing for the playoff season. And they cap the season off, they got Minnesota. Who knows where Minnesota's at? They also fighting for the number one seed, right? They're right there. But I'm going to say Detroit's going to hang in there with this tough schedule and roll into, and they might get another loss. I don't think they have to win out to get the number one seed. I think Philly will receive another loss before the season is over with. So I'm going to say yes, Detroit will finish with the number one seed.
Joe, I said the same thing. Like, Detroit's schedule is a little hard. Was a lot harder than the Eagles, but the Eagles have losable games. I feel like they got more losable games because they got two division play. They still got to fight the Cowboys and they got the Washington Commanders.
Mm-hmm.
And on top of that, the Eagles got to fight. I said fight. They play the Steelers, which is a run stopping team. So we're gonna see what they can do against Saquon. Yeah. So I think they got 3 losable games in their schedule. I don't think they're gonna lose all 3 of the games, but like they're definitely gonna be games that they can lose. And if you look at Detroit, like you said, they know how they found a way to win in every situation they had. Throwing 5 interceptions in the game, just playing defense, being tough, just sticking it out. They got everything they need to do to win. Like they got everything they need this year to make a real serious playoff push. And in order for that playoff push for them to happen to get to the Super Bowl, it got to go through Detroit. They have to have home field advantage. If they don't have home field advantage, it's going to be a different type of game. And like you said, I don't think they got to win out. I feel like they might be able to lose one game. I feel like it's going to probably be the last game of the season. The Eagles, I know they are really they're a good football team. They are one of the best football teams in the league right now. And as much as I hate the Eagles, as much as I hate to say it, they are really sneaky. I think the Vikings is not going to sneak up on them. They're going to be a wild card team because I don't think the Vikings will be able to beat them. I don't think the Vikings will be able to stay in the game as much as you should say. They started off hot, and we all thought they was about to start the fumble, and then they came back, and they still as good as we thought they were. So, a lot of people probably owe Minnesota an apology. I know I'm one of them guys that owe them an apology.
Me too.
But Detroit is I feel like they will finish with that number one seed. I know the Eagles are really, really close, but looking at the schedule, the Lions still got they got the Bills, the 49ers, the Bears, and the Vikings. which is no easy task because 3 of those are division games. I mean, 2 of them are division games. And then the 49ers, like Joe said, is a sneaky team. You don't know which 49ers team you're going to get. If they're going to ball out that day, if the defense going to show up or not. And then with the Bills, you got the MVP candidate, Josh Allen, they're going against. I know the FJA club hate that, but, they still got that game. So it's a harder schedule, to be honest with you. But I feel like they can win these games. And I feel like they can win these games. And I feel like the Eagles is harder because the Eagles got what they call it, they got something on their back right now. Like everybody want to kill the Eagles. Like that's just the way of the league. They put together so well. So everybody just want that game. They want to beat the Eagles. So I feel like they're gonna come harder for that game. Pause. Then they're gonna come harder for that game. I said it twice. Yeah, they're gonna go harder for that game. That's it. So yeah, let me just stop. I'm good. That's it.
I said it twice. Now, sitting here thinking about this question, and I had to go back to week 2 or week 3 when Joe made us say, "Look, man, we all show we need to pick who we think is going to be the best team in the NFL, even if it doesn't come out to be true. We need to say who it is." And I said the Lions. One, because of the free agency moves that they made, wasn't a lot. Drafting, they did it right by the draft. They actually just built on the season that they had against the 49ers. And for them to keep playing like this, and like Joe said, they find ways to win. It's kind of like that boxer where you just like, he's not that good, but he just found ways. How is he winning these fights? It's like Floyd. You know what? Floyd is great. And Floyd just found ways to win fights. When he went up against knockout artists, he just found ways to beat them. Regardless of what it was, he always found a way to win. And that's what they've been doing. And as I keep talking about it, I was like, well, the Eagles was doing this last year up until about this point. They were finding ways to win, and then they just fell off a cliff. I don't think that's going to happen this year because they got Saquon. So every time it looks like one of those games where they're about to fall off the cliff, they hand the ball off to 2-6, and he take off about 40 yards. And it's like, well, we got a touchdown. We go back, defense do something nice, and we'll give it back to 2-6 again. Or was it 2-5? It's probably 2-6. Oh,
2-6.
Okay, yeah, you can tell how much I wish I would have drafted Saquon Barkley in our fantasy league. I probably wouldn't have lost the mark that week. But I think the Lions will finish with the number 1 seed because everyone's saying the Eagles have an easier schedule, and they more so are talking about because they play the Panthers this week. Well, the Panthers have been playing good all the way up until, they've been playing decent. They've been fighting out. Almost was 2 for 2 without upsets. And outside of that Adam Thielen callback, and I'm still mad at the rest of that one because that looked like a touchdown. But hey, looks like it reminded me of a Dez moment, but I ain't gonna say too much. Yeah, Dave, you got them. But they still gotta play Pittsburgh. I'm with you on that one too, Mark. Like we gotta see what they're gonna do against Pittsburgh. Now, if they go out, who knows? Maybe they overlook Carolina and they lose a game. Now they out of the question for the number 1 seed, and then we got to go look at Brother Jacob's Vikings. Because, again, I know what you're saying about the Vikings, and I want to keep saying it about the Vikings, but every time I look up, they win a game. Yep. And I'm like, man, are they going to find a way to lose? Like, what's up with this NFC North? They are all just finding ways to win games, and the Packers try to find a way to win a game. The only team that's, like, finding a way to lose is the Bears. And that goes back to Eberflus. So, to answer the question, I think the Lions will finish it out, but it is going to be a tough run. And most people say they do have to win out. But I'll say come back in 2 weeks after I see what the Eagles do with Pittsburgh. If they beat Pittsburgh, then the Lions have to win out. Other than that, I think they got it.
Here's the thing. The Lions can afford to lose to the Bills.
Okay.
Because both of the Eagles' losses are to NFC teams.
That's the Buccaneers, right?
They lost to the Buccaneers and the Falcons. By the way, the Buccaneers are the only team in the league that beat the Lions and the Eagles. Crazy. But the Lions lost to the Bucs also. They lose to the Bills. They win that tiebreaker with the Eagles. Now, what it might come down to is, like Mark said, if Philly, like you said, that Pittsburgh game is important. I feel like it's important for this whole scenario because if Philly could skate by Pittsburgh, then, but if Detroit escaped by the Bills, if Detroit could survive this week, then it will be tough. I'm gonna say this: if they get by the Bills, it puts more pressure
on
on
Philly.
Philly. Because it puts more pressure on Philly. So I think that it might if Detroit takes another L and Philly don't, it will come down to that final game. Because of your division record, because both of them are undefeated in their division. So hey, Mark, we might got something to say about this tiebreaker. So I gotta say, you too.
I would say we all might have ruined some dreams. If we lose to the Bengals, I'm here to ruin some playoff fantasy. You know what I mean?
I didn't know y'all played in the fantasy league. That's funny.
Yeah, it was a good bad week for me.
But you bounced back though.
I mean, it's something about me in that number one spot, man. It's only 1 week. I can only lose it for 1 week. Playoffs start this week, though, man. It's going to be very, very interesting to see what happens.
They'll take it for you for 1 week, and you took it back.
He took it last week because of Mark.
Playoffs start this week?
Next week.
It's the last regular season.
It's next week.
Oh yeah.
JD on the bye week right now. I need my quarterback. Yeah.
Now I'm not gonna lie. I watch FFC every time it comes on, and if the playoffs would have started this week, me and Coach would have had to fight because Lamar Jackson on bye week too.
Yeah.
We ain't about to do that.
Yeah.
Like, nah. But
that's funny.
Speaking of JD5,